My husband's ex-stepmother stole his inheritance, so we cut her off.
Cut her off.
I say former stepmother-in-law because her outrageous and horrible behavior made her passed away to us. And at present time, I have no idea how or where she is. Also, sadly, my husband, we'll call him Jay, also passed away at a much too young of an age.
Oh, wow.
Very sorry. And he passed away about a year and a half ago. But I am blessed that we had more than 25 wonderful years together, and I also have our 2 beautiful children who both look a lot like him. By the way, this comes from Mother of Peacocks, and if you want to submit your own stories, send them to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, to preface, Jay lost his birth mom to a tragic car accident when he was only 7 years old. His dad, whom my husband idolized, was absolutely devastated, but did his best to raise his 2 young children, Jay and his older sister, on his own. His dad's job eventually relocated them to another state, California, to be precise.
Welcome.
The state of us, our state.
Oh, yeah.
Several years later, his dad met the lady who would become his wife and Jay's stepmom. We'll call her Looney.
I like
All
these
right,
nicknames.
Here we go. When Jay was a freshman in high school, Looney got pregnant and brought Jay's half-sister, we'll call her Lunette, into the world. This becomes very important later. Flash forward many years, Jay and I meet, fall in love, move in together. A few years later, he proposes to me on my birthday, making it the best birthday of my life.
Wow.
My entire family was present for the proposal, but his parents and Lunette had moved to Texas after Jay graduated high school. We had visited them a few times, so I did know them. That evening, we called his parents to announce our engagement. After we shared our joyous news, his dad told us that they were literally just about to call us to share their own news. He had been diagnosed with stage 4 liver.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's the bad. Yeah, this was a definitely good news, bad news kind of thing.
Yeah.
And,
I want to say I'm glad that the good news came first,
yeah,
but it's just a hard situation anyway. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
it was surreal. At that time, they just found out about. So did not have a prognosis or even a treatment plan from his doctors. So we did not know if we had a time limit or not, as terrible as that sounds. Jay's dad told us to move forward with our wedding plans. He would not let get in his way of being there. A couple of months later, we went and visited them, and his dad's outlook was pretty good. He appeared to be doing well and was responding well to chemotherapy.
Good.
But being pragmatic, his dad also planned for the worst and had updated his will. Mind you, he had a very good job with a major company and had invested very wisely. So with investments and his insurance policy, he had more than $3 million in assets. Whoa!
Woohoo!
All right.
Good for you, man.
During the visit, Jay and his dad talked privately about the changes to his will in detail. Due to various tax laws in our respective states, his dad had carefully structured the various payouts to have the least impact from taxes as possible. Also very smart.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say that the plan was for Jay and his older sister to each receive around $600,000 to be paid out in annuities of $30K a year, and the rest would be going to Looney and Lunette, with various contingencies being placed on the money for Lunette until she was 18. She was 13 at this time. It's important to note that Looney did not know about this conversation. Sadly, Jay's dad took a serious turn for the worse a couple of months after our visit, and we were suddenly being told that we needed to come visit as soon as possible and prepare to say our goodbyes.
Wow, that's hard.
We immediately flew out, and within days, his dad had passed. The funeral took place back east, where Jay's dad's family was, and this was the first real evidence of Looney's craziness, aka the name
Started
Looney.
to earn that.
Daffy Duck comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay and I could not attend, but found out much later from other family members what a debacle Looney made of it and the spectacle she made of herself. In less than a month since Jay's dad had passed, Looney had quit her job and gone on an insane spending spree, buying a brand new house, a new convertible Camaro, new wardrobes for herself and for Lunette, and was apparently flashing cash and madly throwing money around during her visit back east for the funeral.
Wow. Bad habits.
Yeah, maybe, losing a loved one does make you do crazy things.
Yeah.
It does make your brain process things a lot at once. I get it, but this is not the way to process that.
Yeah, retail therapy is definitely not as good as actual therapy.
Exactly. She made a mockery of the memorial service where, instead of respectfully spreading the ashes at the lake where Jay and his dad grew up, she skipped around the adjacent golf course, carelessly tossing the ashes around while the rest of the family looked on in horror.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think losing Jay's dad or losing her husband did make her go a little loony in
Sounds
this case.
like it.
Looney has been named as an executor of the will and of the first $30,000 annuity that Jay and his older sister were supposed to receive. They each only got $10,000 each. When asked, she claimed that it was what the will said. Jay initially gave her the benefit of the doubt that she would make good on the rest before the year was out and use the money to buy a new motorcycle that he had been wanting. Note that we had only one car at this time. By this time, our wedding date had been set for about 6 months later, and plans had been well underway, taking up majority of Jay's and my own spare time. We eventually heard about the funeral and spending spree, and after Jay's brand new motorcycle was vandalized, it subsequently totaled, he exploded at Looney, telling her that he knew the truth of the will and that she owed him the remaining $20,000, or she and Lunette were not welcome to come to the wedding, let alone be a part of it. It was pretty much radio silence from them after that. Until the wedding, 2 days before the wedding, Looney and Lunette showed up at our apartment, Looney driving her new convertible Camaro, along with a driver that she paid to transport the new Camaro that she said she bought for Jay as a wedding gift. Jay was shocked, but grateful. Thankfully, the wedding was incredible and everything we had hoped it would be, with one minor instance. Looney, a recovering heavy drinker, got stinking wasted at the reception, making a big scene. Started blubbering about how Jay's dad should have been there and had to be escorted out and driven to her hotel. I need to point out that no one had ever seen her shed a tear about Jay's dad at the funeral or otherwise. Our interactions with Looney and Lunette were cordial, but minimal after that, until Jay asked Looney for some of his belongings that had been packed and moved with her and his dad when they moved to Texas, as well as some of his dad's things that he valued and hoped to keep. There were a couple of very specific boxes that contained Jay's high school memorabilia and other keepsakes and albums. But Jay had been in and out of apartments, so he asked his parents to hang on to them until there was more time and he was more stable. Looney told him that she didn't know where his boxes were and that she would look into it, as well as his dad's items. We didn't hear a peep from either Looney or Lunette for the next 3 years. Jay and his older sister never saw another annuity. We had since moved from our apartment into a house with our new baby boy, congratulations, who was about 10 months old when Jay went to leave work to pick up our son from daycare, only to find his car was missing. His car had our only car seat in it, and he panicked. He called the police, and long story short, found out that Looney had hired someone to repo it or repossess it. Unfortunately, to avoid having to have his supercharged Camaro altered for California emissions, Jay had never transferred the title from Looney to himself, so on paper, the car still belonged to Looney.
You can't trust a word out of this woman's mouth.
Also, I would try and find a copy of that will. Oh, she's an executor of the will, so she may have changed it.
How's that allowed?
I don't know.
Change the will.
I don't know. I don't
Dude.
know.
Yeah.
He should have had a copy of the will when he knew his dad was passing. That's one of the things I hate about wills. It sucks. The police managed to get her on the phone. She wouldn't answer Jay's calls. And over her insane shrieking that it was her car and she had the right to take it back, they calmly explained that while that may not be the case, the property inside it did not belong to her, and she had 12 hours to return our property or we would press charges. I managed to borrow a car seat from a coworker and picked up Jay and our son. When we arrived home, we found our car seat and all our other belongings sitting in the driveway, with signs that someone had attempted to enter the house. Doing the math, we realized that Lunette was now 16. Later that year, we found out from Jay's older sister that Looney and Lunette had squandered all $3 million, including the $750,000 that had been put into our trust for Lunette until she turned 18.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Looney? Looney did in fact take the Camaro back because she had no money left to buy Lunette a car, and she felt entitled to and justified in taking Jay's. We also found out that Looney had pawned the items that Jay had wanted that belonged to his dad and had burned Jay's keepsakes in retribution.
Burned them?
His high school things, like, that he was looking for. He's like, hey,
dude,
if someone doesn't tell you, when you ask him something really nice, like, hey, some of my boxes are still at home.
Yeah.
If they don't respond in like a month, that's one thing. If they don't respond in 3 years about it,
yeah,
I would just go and check.
Right, just go get them yourself.
Pay them a visit.
Right.
Yeah.
Before they burn
Your
into the
keepsakes.
sky.
That's crazy. In the end, Jay only had a few pictures of his dad and other small things, like his dad's watch that we got from him the last time we visited. Needless to say, we went no contact with them after that, but didn't formally block them from anything. We just ceased contact and never heard anything from them. By the way, you can hear from us by listening to full episodes every day with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you go and get your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. We have a little bit left to this story, but Angie, it seems like we're already going no contact.
Yes.
Which is great, but...
Great idea. I'm very glad that they're going no contact.
I would like to see like the will itself, or... Because that money belongs to you.
Right.
And she can't keep it all to herself. I know she probably... I don't know the legalities of wills and how it works.
I don't know either.
Unfortunately, I'm not a well-knowledged man on wills.
Not a lawyer. Haven't dealt with the will myself personally.
So, yeah, let us know. Like, if you're the executor of the will, does that mean you can literally change everything about the will? I don't know.
Yeah.
But if there was a verbal agreement that, hey, someone said you can do this, I don't know how it works. So let us know in the comments what you can and cannot do. But Looney is straight off the loony bin right here.
Absolutely. Very well named, this one.
This is the first time I heard like a loony, which is a really good nickname for the characters here. I don't think Lunette is at fault here. You can't really call her Lunette. I know she's the daughter of Looney, but Lunette seems like she's just a 16-year-old girl that's just like, what do I do?
Yeah, I don't know if she's done anything in all of this.
I don't think Lunette's done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So it's all on the mom here.
On Looney Sr.
Let's finish the story. Until about 3 years after the Camaro incident, Jay gets a message from Lunette telling him that she's getting married and she wants him to walk her down the aisle. Jay was aghast and proceeded to tell her all the reasons why there was no effing way he would ever deign to honor such a request from her after everything that she and her mom put him/us through. Lunette sends him a vitriolic reply telling him what a horrible person he is and that her mom is right, that he deserved everything he got, then instantly blocked him. But she didn't block me at first. I sent her one final text setting the record straight, and that was the last we ever heard from them.
Whoa. And that's it?
Whoa, that was it?